This land isn't just in your blood. It's under your fingernails and worn with pride. It's not a job. It's your livelihood. Here, overtime is all the time. But you wouldn't have it any other way. It's written into your DNA. It's what you thrive on. And while farming will never be easy, we can make it better. Introducing the Pioneer 100 series. Meaningfully different canola hybrids.
It's time for RealAg Radio on Rural Radio Channel 147 on Sirius XM. RealAg Radio and RealAgriculture.com is your home for insight and analysis of the issues that are impacting your farm business. Let's get real and get connected with RealAg Radio.
Hello and welcome to RealAg Radio here on Rural Radio Channel 147, Sirius XM. I am your host for the day, Lyndsey Smith. It is Thursday, July 17th, if you can believe it. And, of course, being Thursday, it is time for the Farmer Rapid Fire, brought to you by Pioneer Seeds Canada. On today's show, we are going to speak with Derwyn Hammond out of Western Manitoba. Got some questions there on if it's too late, potentially, to go in with a fungicide pass on canola. And also he's got some tips on choosing the best corn hybrid, but keeping the season in context. So can't wait to ask him what that's all about and what to consider. So stick around for the end of the show for that conversation. But of course, before we get there, we've got to travel across Canada. So we're going to start in Quebec with Billy Beaudry. We're going to hop to Ontario, talk to Mark Huston, head on over to Saskatchewan, talk to Jim Hale out of Lancer, and then end up in Alberta in the special areas with Rob Sommerville. So come along. It's going to be a great day. I've got a question for the farmers that if you want to weigh in, you can head on over to RealAgriculture.com and weigh in on this week's poll. We want to know, what's your favorite Ag Swag giveaway? So do you have a favorite? Is there something you absolutely will pick up every time or really appreciate? Or perhaps you've got a suggestion for something that you'd like companies to offer. Head on over. Go get that done. But without further ado, let's hear from today's farmers. We head now to near Saint-Hyacinthe, Quebec. Billy Beaudry's on the line. Billy, how are you?
I'm doing well, thanks.
What's keeping you busy this week?
Well, we're finishing to get the combines ready because, winter wheat's pretty well ready to harvest. So rain on the forecast for tomorrow, but after that, whenever it dries up, we should start that up.
This feels a little early. Is it early?
For winter wheat, no. It's on schedule.
Okay.
Maybe a week earlier than usual, but last week and this week has been really warm and a bit of rain all the time too, so kind of speed up the drying. Mm-hmm. So and the winter wheat is looking really good, so it's going to be interesting to see what it looks like in the field.
Yeah, you mentioned, of course, you're not that far from where I am, and we have been dealing with some pretty hot temperatures. What else are you growing on the farm, and how is that managing in this heat?
Yeah, we have naturally corn and soybeans. That has been a challenge for us in the spring. We ended up planting really late here. We were done on the 4th or the 5th of June. So, it's about a month late than what we usually like. But I don't know, obviously we're going to need a really good fall, but here we've kind of been lucky after the planting season because there are some regions where they got some really bad storms and big rain events, and it kind of went all around us. So we just got good timely rain, except for the headlands there, where it was obviously wetter whenever we planted. The fields, my corn fields look not bad considering the conditions we planted. I find my soybean was struggling a little bit. No-till soybeans in the area is not looking the best. So we see some really nice fields, and the neighbors are scrappy, and the next field's really nice. So there's a bit of everything this year around here.
Yeah, it sounds a little like here as well. Definitely some crop went in great conditions and managed exactly that, some timely rain. And then definitely there are some fields that you can see it wasn't an ideal planting window that it went in. Now, what about any forage, or what do you put in after winter wheat? What does that look like on your farm?
Well, after winter wheat, which is going to be green manure, we usually, there's a lot of swine around. We have some pigs too, so it's going to be swine manure, and then some fields would go with a mix of peas and. So I have our own little mix there. We do some. I do a bit of clover too, interseeded in the early spring. So in some fields it seems to be working better than others. So we kind of choose where we put all that up. Yeah, we always do some corrections too for land forming with the scraper. So whenever we have big rain events like this year, we could really tell the difference. Field land leveling and tile drainage is huge for us.
Mm-hmm. You really do notice where the imperfect drainage is when you get those big downfalls, that just so much water so quickly. It really does show where you need to maybe work on. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and then it just, like, sometimes with tile drainage, you just like the trees grows around and it seems like some roots get in, or so the system is working but maybe doing half what it's supposed to do. So yeah, with springs like we did, we kind of find where the problems are, so it's easy to find them and then can fix them. So that's why we like winter wheat is good for that. So we have usually a nice summer and we have some more time to really make sure everything is in order in the field. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely gives you that window of some time to do some field work, or maybe move some earth around after the winter wheat crop. You did mention clover, so that would have been. So have you tried, like, you put on red clover in your winter wheat in like frost seed or early in the spring? Is that something that you do? Is that something you have success with? Yeah,
do it since a couple of years there. Really early in the spring, as soon as there is no more snow there, we just hit the field with the four-wheeler and do a bit of seeding. So that's nice, because sometimes it gets very busy after wheat harvest, and we don't have the time to put all our grain manure. So we don't have to do anything in these fields. So it just grows after that. And
yeah, definitely a time management thing, and fix them in, so you may as well. Now, so my question this week, Billy, is, and this one actually comes from Amber Bell on our staff. She's in Saskatchewan this week at the farm show at Ag Emotion, and she wants to know what everyone's favorite giveaway is. So your favorite ag swag. Are you a t-shirt person? Do you want the hat that everybody loves, or what's the best, like, giveaway item that you get from the companies that you work with?
I kind of always lose my little stick there to measure like the seed depth in the spring.
Yeah.
Well, that's something I really like to have there, because it seems like we always need one, and yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what I do with them, but each spring I'm like, oh, where did I put it?
So more is better because you're going to lose them.
Yeah. That's it.
They are handy. It is, yeah, absolutely. They are, and who knows, maybe one day you'll find a whole bunch of them somewhere, tucked underneath the seat somewhere. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so there you go. We'll see. We'll compile all these answers, and of course, anyone who wants to can head on over to RealAgriculture.com. We've got the poll there too, but a seeding depth measure. I've seen a few. Some of them even have. It almost looks like maybe a bottle opener or something on the top. So they're very, very useful for all sorts of good things.
That's might be why I lose them, because bottle opener. But anyway,
these two things may be related. Okay, all right, Billy. Thank you so much for joining me here on the Farmer Rapid Fire. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great week. Cheers. All right. It's time for a quick break here on the Farmer Rapid Fire, brought to you by Pioneer Seeds Canada. And we'll be back. We're going to head to Saskatchewan next here on the Farmer Rapid Fire.
The new Brandt XT grain cart delivers unmatched forward auger reach, side auger reach, and discharge spout clearance for easy positioning, with sight lines that allow you to actually see what you're doing while you're doing it, saving you time with each load and getting you back to the combine sooner. They say hindsight is 20/20. We say seeing what's in front of you is better. Lead the field with the new XT grain cart from Brandt.
Peter Johnson at Wheat Pete, RealAgriculture.com, and what an opportunity! Oh my gosh! You think you can't grow better wheat? You are absolutely wrong. We're going to show you how to strive for those record wheat yields that they get in the UK and in New Zealand. You can grow 150 bushel wheat. I'll show you how.
Catch Wheat Pete's Word every Wednesday on RealAgriculture.com or download the podcast on iTunes or Spotify.
If you're involved in the agriculture industry, it's important to stay informed on all the latest issues affecting your business. At RealAgriculture.com, we offer fast, reliable news, information, and insights to help you keep on top of all of the latest in Canadian agriculture. Visit RealAgriculture.com and sign up for our free daily newsletter covering everything from news, agronomy, animal agriculture, and much more. Visit RealAgriculture.com/subscribe today.
Welcome back to RealAg Radio here on Rural Radio, Channel 147, Sirius XM. It is Thursday, July 17th, and that means it is in fact time for the Farmer Rapid Fire, brought to you by Pioneer Seeds Canada. All right, we head down to Chatham-Kent area, and I've got Mark Huston on the line. Mark, how are you?
I'm doing well. Yourself?
You know, I'm okay. It's mid-July, which I kind of can't wrap my head around, and it feels like it where I am. It is hot, it is muggy, it is very summery, and I wish I had a lake or a pool, but I have neither.
Yeah, well, even the lake and the pool, I feel like, is probably not as refreshing as we would normally think it is, right? You jump into the water and it's 32 degrees, and you're like,
Yeah, it's like a cold bath. Yeah, exactly. Now, I mean, you're very far from me as far as Ontario goes, but Ontario is a big place. But yep. What do the crops look like where you are? How has your season gone?
It's kind of been hit and miss around the area, right? With the early spring, a lot of the area around me ended up getting excess moisture in the soybeans. So on a lot of the clay soils, we've got some variability in it. The low spots got drowned out and then drowned out again, and they're kind of meh. The sandier farms around me look quite nice right now. We've been getting those consistent rains, and this heat has been giving us enough pop-up thunderstorms that we've been able to kind of get crops that look pretty good.
Okay. Now, does anyone in Chatham-Kent know how to grow a cereal, or is it just corn and beans?
Yeah, the cereals take up some of those valuable corn and soybean acres, but yeah, there's a fair bit of wheat out. Mm-hmm. I'm right on the border between Kent and Lambton County too, and so southern Lambton County is generally a fairly heavy winter cereals area, and so the winter wheat started. It's looking pretty decent for yield wise. So I mean, that's kind of a nice bonus. Now, if we could do something about the prices, that would be handy too, and input prices too. But
right.
I mean, you can't ask for too much, right?
Yeah, my powers are limited there, Mark. I'll be honest.
Really? I've been fed these lies for years.
For years, I know. I'm sorry. Okay, so you are quite close to Lambton. I've heard about the clay in Lambton. Are you on those clays?
Yeah, so I'm lucky that I get some farms that have those clays, and then I have some farms that are towards that Bothwell area, which is really heavy blow sand. It's like beaches without the water.
Right.
And so we're blessed with both those extremes, sometimes in the same field. So rounds make for interesting decisions when it comes to applications of fertilizers and other things.
That's quite the. It's actually something that fascinates me about Ontario soils is just how how different, just in the same field, you could end up with differences. It was not what I grew up, not what I was used to. Obviously, every field has variability, but sometimes I don't think people realize just how extreme that variability can be in one field.
Yeah, it's funny because there's pockets too, right? And some of the pockets aren't all that big.
Yeah.
But where we are currently located, we're kind of on that area where it switches from clay to sand, and then switches back to more loamy soils. Mm-hmm. So we're kind of on the clay sand area, with a little bit of loam on kind of the in between areas, right? Mm-hmm. So it's not a bad spot to be. I mean, we get the best of both and the worst of both too, right?
That's right. Take it. On average, you're good. It's fine.
Yeah, well, that's what you hope for, right? You hope for an average.
Yeah, exactly. Now, but you also are far enough south that, I mean, do you really even get winter? I mean, come on.
Well, that's the joke, right? So yeah, the banana fields this year are a little down. Mm-hmm. The heat's been a little hotter than we'd normally like them, and the coffee looks like it's going to be on time for harvest.
Yeah, excellent. I mean, we're kidding, but we're kind of not. It is a very warm part of Ontario, so
we're lucky, and it's the moderation too from the lakes.
Yeah.
So we kind of have that advantage of being warm. But we very rarely have, like, those stifling droughts, which is kind of not a bad spot that the ancestors picked from a weather standpoint.
Yeah. I mean, then you have other things like the crows in Chatham. But anyway, they terrify me. There's a reason I don't go down there. Anyway, now do you still have some livestock that we can talk about, or are the markets terrible and you don't want to mention it?
We still have some livestock for not too long. We're just in the process of exiting from the industry.
Okay, and it's hogs, right? For those who don't know.
Yes, yeah. We have one finishing barn left, and so it's going to be closed off by the end of summer. Okay, and then we'll be living the dream of operating a farm without that valuable resource of livestock manure.
Mm-hmm. That is, okay, so I'll be honest. I mean, I love bacon, don't get me wrong. I don't love hogs. And I'm probably not alone on this one. I know there's some people who really love them. They're super intelligent. Great, cool. Don't love them. But the hog manure is quite valuable.
It's not a bad side gig. I mean, if you're trying to grow crops, it does tend to help the crops look pretty good. Mm-hmm. And I mean, from a marketing standpoint for hogs this summer has been relatively good. Like, I mean, with the dollar being as low as it is, we're seeing the traditional price be some of the higher prices we've ever marketed hogs for. Okay. Now, saying that, the price to put hogs into the barn is also quite high. So that kind of balances things off. And then there's the whole traditional trying to find places to sell your hogs, which is always a fun gig.
And has all of that informed the, moving on past this phase of the farm, or what all goes into the decision of, I think we're done with hogs now?
Yeah, a lot of that came in. Some disease pressures in the neighborhood are hurting too. But it was our barns have been generally, they've been in use for a while, and so they're due for either a substantial upgrade or a closing, and so kind of decided that it might be time to hang them up for a little bit.
Yeah,
we'll see. Yeah. It might not be forever, but
maybe not.
It seems like it's the right decision for now.
Mm-hmm. It is one of those. I mean, obviously, it's not a unique circumstance when it comes to infrastructure, right? I mean, barns have a certain lifespan where you really do have to decide: do you spend the money to renovate and upgrade, or do you spend the money and build new, or, like you said, it might just be time to mothball them for at least for now.
Yeah, and I think the political climate right now is one of the other things that we're looking at. So when we look at being able to market hogs in Ontario, the opportunities to do so are rather limited, right? We've got a couple of big plants in the Toronto area, Cambridge area. Outside of that, where we're looking would probably be going into the U.S. And I mean, the market there is asking for hogs, but with some of the things happening with trade, how long is that ask going to be reciprocated with fair agreements and, you know, things that you can count on as far as being able to get shipments across without having to put dollar bills on the back of hogs in order to get them there. So, yeah, I think it's the same with a lot of the other commodity markets too, right? We've got large volumes going everywhere in the world, and kind of an unsure market that we've more so than we've had for the last 20 years.
Well, and that being said, I mean, it's similar, I suppose, on the cattle side, on the whatever. But, if I move, let's say, corn across the border and it gets hung up, I'm not so worried about it. It's corn. It's not going to do anything. But moving livestock is pretty darn stressful. So you need
the whole keeping them alive while you're delivering them is always a challenge, right?
Yeah, exactly. Kind of important, kind of a key part of this. So, yeah, absolutely. And I got to tell you, I mean, so even just that whole thought process of, what is a border crossing going to look like selling into that market, that much uncertainty is, I don't blame you. It doesn't seem like something I'd really want to participate in if I could help it. So, who knows? I guess we'll see what happens a couple of years from now.
I think there's lots of opportunity in the hog market.
Yeah.
Given what the prices right now are, for us, we've been in it for a while, and I think it's time to maybe take a second look at it and see what's next. So we'll see.
Well, with all your extra time, I hope that you will make it to a farm show. And this is dovetails into my question this week. What's your favorite Ag Swag freebie? What do you like?
Ag Swag freebie.
Yeah. Are you a T-shirt person? A hat? A mug?
No.
What do you think?
I'm kind of a tickets to sporting event kind of guy.
Oh, that's a high bar.
If I can get tickets to a Leaf game or a Blue Jays game,
okay,
that's some swag I remember and come back for.
Okay. Writing it down.
Right.
Making a note. Yeah, I like it. Okay. Do they have to guarantee a win? I don't think so.
No, I don't think they can in any type of sporting events around here anyway.
Yeah, probably not. Okay. All right, Mark, thanks so much for joining me here on the Farmer Rapid Fire.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more RealAg Radio right after this.
At Proven Seed, we know that farming in Western Canada doesn't just teach us, it shapes us. Here we face challenges with resilience, innovation, and grit born from decades of experience. We battle the conditions again and again because growing crops here isn't just what we do, it's who we are. We're raised to adapt just like you, with varieties grown specifically for your local conditions. Visit provenseed.ca/raised to adapt to hear our story.
Hi, I'm Bernard Tobin, host of the Soybean School on RealAgriculture.com. Throughout the year, on the Soybean School, we'll bring you timely agronomic video content from planting to harvest, from the latest agronomic research to the latest in production technology. Check out our massive video library on YouTube, RealAgriculture.com, or download the audio podcast versions wherever you get your podcasts. The Soybean School is brought to you by Mazik Seeds and Lalamon Plant Care.
The Canola School on RealAgriculture.com is a video series that showcases the latest in canola research and production agronomy. Learn from some of the best at your own pace through quick and timely producer-focused videos available on our YouTube channel. The Canola School on RealAgriculture.com is the quickest way to keep up to date on all the latest in canola production. Boost your canola IQ with the Canola School, brought to you by BASF, and visit canolaschool.com.
Welcome back to RealAg Radio here on Rural Radio, Channel 147, Sirius XM. I am your host, Lyndsey Smith. It is Thursday, July 17th, and this show is brought to you by Pioneer 100 Series, the highest yielding Pioneer brand canola hybrids ever. This isn't just better canola, it's different canola. Contact your local Pioneer sales rep or visit pioneer.com/100 series to learn more. We head now to, well, I hope it's somewhat green, Lancer, Saskatchewan. On the line, it's my brother from another mother, Jim Hale. How are you, Jim?
Good.
Did it rain this year at all?
It didn't, and now it has.
Oh.
And, actually I was just at a board meeting for Sask Pulse, which I'm recently on in January, and I won the rain lottery of all of our board of directors.
Look at
for
that.
once.
And is that like a half inch
So
or how do you win?
I would call it 97/100.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Now, this is actually something, Jim, when here in Ontario, when people complain that it's dry, I use your farm as an example of how little it rains and how they shouldn't complain. So for everyone listening, can you relate, like, what have you been through in the past few years as far as actual rainfall and trying to navigate that, growing actual crops?
I would say, other than this year, where we've been kind of on the fringe of the oasis that is kind of west central Saskatchewan, we were trying to grow crops on 4 to 6 inches of rain a year.
A year, not per rainfall, everybody, for the year.
Yeah, for the year. And then last year, for example, I had to spray grasshoppers before my crops even came up.
Wow.
And then twice after that, too.
Yeah.
So,
that's insane.
Luckily, they're really not a problem this year so far. I did have some hail about a week and a half ago, but just with the crop stage I had, didn't really seem to do too much damage. But I'm actually going to jump in the truck here and do a quick crop tour to see what's wet and what's not wet and how things are looking. So,
it's a good problem to have. Now, you did mention joining the Sask Pulse board. So I'm going to assume that you're growing some pulses, but maybe not. But what's all part of the crop mix on a farm that maybe gets 4 to 6 inches of rain a year?
So this year, lentils, small greens, Kabuli chickpeas, and durum and spring wheat.
That's a pretty good mix.
Yes.
How do the chickpeas look?
Stagey, but they're coming around. With the dry spring, we kind of had some dry stranded seed, so some stuff's kind of out of the ground for a month, and some of it's out of the ground for a couple weeks. So it's a little bit all over the place, but that's a pretty. Is that a short season crop? Like it's like the fact that it's behind is maybe okay, or do you worry about stuff like that? Chickpeas are somewhat indeterminate, so they will just kind of keep on living if they have enough resources to do so. I would say that generally our climate in August, which is usually pretty dry and very low humidity, should shut them down for September. So I'm not particularly concerned, although the hail may have, if the hail did anything, it maybe set them back. And I'm eminently close to doing a fungicide application, which also may set them back. So I'm very conscientious of not having to try to combine them in October.
Good call. Now, in that list, Jim, there's no canola, nor is there mustard. Are those crops, or either of those things you used to grow? Or is it just the year?
I have grown both, and my canola success has been extremely hit and miss. I grew some the year we had 26 inches of rain and had a phenomenal crop. And in the years where it doesn't rain, I think I grew as many total bushels as I did in that 1 year where it rained. So with changes to Saskatchewan crop insurance, my premiums are kind of high on canola. So I have kind of gone away from it for the time being. Mustard is something I'm still interested in. The issue generally with mustard is weed control with our very famous kochia that can be a problem and has been a problem and continues to be a problem that we're working on in various modes of whatever we can do to it to eliminate it. So that's the story on why no oil seeds, I guess.
I guess. Now, I'm just going to put it out there. I have heard of growers that grow lentils and mustard together, to which I call it lustard. But I don't think that's the accepted term in the industry. But maybe that solves your problem of the kochia trees. I don't know. It's worth a shot.
The lentils and kochia are tricky. If you do not get your kochia controlled if your kochia comes up in your lentils, you have no recourse to
none at all
with chemical.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the mustard would help as far as row closure, canopying, kind of covering up the soil. That is an effective means of kochia control, but you're definitely limited on some chemistries there.
Mm-hmm. Very limited, in fact. Now, Jim, how much fun is it being on a board? Because you've been on boards before. Move it to the Sask Pulse board. So I feel like you're someone who enjoys it. What's the best thing about being on a board?
I think the networking of it, honestly, like you get to meet a lot of people in other parts of the industry that you maybe wouldn't get to encounter otherwise. That's my pitch for it.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that from other boards I've been on to Sask Pulse is a bit of a jump, but I kind of felt like I had, on the other boards I'd been on, I'd kind of done what I wanted to do or pushed where I thought that board should move to, and then just kind of decided not to hang around and clog up the system that I would. I thought about Sask Pulse for quite a while. In my defense or non-defense, I was actually acclaimed, so nobody really did pick me other than I volunteered. So.
That also happens on boards. Sometimes you have to be careful if you let your name stand, because you're for sure going to get in. It's one of those things. I think it's a good point, though, that realistically, sometimes it's a good idea to get out of the way, let some new people, new ideas, new things sort of hop on, and move on to something else and find other people to hang out with and brainstorm with and all those sorts of fun things. So I think that's a good idea. Now, I do wonder, though, Jim, you do live in Saskatchewan, and there's a big show happening up near Saskatoon, but you're not there. Is that like because you have to be, or are you going to head up there? What's the deal?
It's not working out for me to go this year. I actually had I was actually in a board meeting yesterday, almost all day, and then I have a field day in Swift Current that I'm attending tomorrow. So
there you go.
I ran home to survey the situation here and do some odds and ends, I guess. And then I'm on the board trail, I guess, as it were, tomorrow as well. And it just didn't happen to work out. But I was in Saskatoon and didn't go. But I was
that's worse than
in a meeting from 8 till 4. So
that's not a lot of time for touring the show for such things. Now, if you had gone, or during the season when you've got, potentially companies stopping by, etc. My question this week is, what is your favorite Ag Swag freebie?
I will defer to my Saskatchewanisms as a bunny hug or a hoodie. I will get. I've been given explicit instructions from my better half to not bring home any more hats.
I have the same rule in this house, and it does not get heated whatsoever. New hats show up all the time. All the time, Jim.
Yeah.
They just multiply. Okay, why do you guys need so many hats if you only wear 2? Like, tell me I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure most farmers have like 2 hats on rotation, and they're filthy, and they have 100 hats on a shelf. What's going on?
I don't know, but I have been in people's houses where they hang them on nails around, generally in their basement, as some kind of a weird collection. But
one day they'll be worth something.
And I will admit, I actually purged a bunch of hats in spring cleaning this year. So some didn't make it, but I also gifted some to a friend, and specifically his son, because one was one that I got at the John Deere Combine factory, and
nice.
They had just got a John Deere Combine, so I figured it was unworn, still had the tags on it, and I figured he was going to wear it before I would wear it. So
yeah. There you go.
I figured it was better to move it on than throw it away.
Yeah, very kind of you. And I think that's a great idea. And see, it wasn't worn. So this is what I'm saying. Okay. All right, we got to leave it there. Farmer Jim, thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful week.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a quick break here from the Farmer Rapid Fire, brought to you by Pioneer Seeds Canada, and I'll be back with more RealAg Radio right after this.
Soil health is under pressure, but real solutions start below the surface. Black Earth offers a full suite of humic solutions, from high-purity granules to powder, liquid, and soluble formulations, all powered by pure Humulite. Formulated for performance, backed by consistency, trusted by growers worldwide from one of the world's rarest reserves. Grow stronger with the power of Black Earth Humulite. Learn more from Mine to Market at blackearth.com.
It's summertime, and you've got a lot of important decisions to make when it comes to your corn crop. Let the Corn School on RealAgriculture.com help guide you through those big decisions with input from leading experts in the field. If it's spray timing, disease identification, or any other field issue, the Corn School's got you covered. The Corn School on RealAgriculture.com, brought to you by BASF and Pride Seeds.
Welcome to RealAg Radio here on Rural Radio, Channel 147, Sirius XM. I am your host for the day, Lyndsey Smith. It is Thursday, July 17th, and that means it is time for the Farmer Rapid Fire, brought to you by Pioneer Seeds Canada. We travel, of course, to the special areas of Alberta, and on the line I've got Rob Sommerville. Rob, how are you?
I'm good today. How are you?
I'm doing well. What is the weather like where you are in the special areas?
Today, it's a nice summer day. Overcast. Maybe that's not overcast. Maybe it's smoke.
Hard to say.
Threatening to rain again. Rain in the forecast.
And is that welcome rain, or would you like a break?
Oh, actually, rain is always welcome. We just can't bring ourselves to complain about the rain, but no, we'll take the rain. We're trying to put up hay, and it's been challenging, but at least we have hay to put up. So that's right. Because of the rain.
That's right. It is sort of important. One begets the other. But it would be bad if it just stopped for a couple days so you could get the hay.
Give us a few days, yes.
Yes. Yeah. Now, so for those listening, remind us sort of the setup of your farm, what livestock you have, and what you focus on there.
We'd call ourselves a cow-calf operation. We're running around 350 pairs. We also grow some grain, try to produce our own feed. So kind of mixed grain and cattle, but right now the cows are taking more of the acres.
Mm-hmm. As they probably should. They're worth a small fortune right now, Rob.
The money's, it's better.
Yeah, better.
There's no doubt it's a lot better than it was.
How does that, you've had cattle for quite some time, I'm going to assume. How do you wrap your head around what some of these prices are right now?
Well, I don't know. The prices are good. The expenses are high.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
But at least cow calf right now is a viable enterprise. There's, it's where, say, 5 years ago, it was tougher. So yes, you feel pretty good when you sell a calf right now. There's no doubt about it. And I have sold, a few animals. Some have sold a cull bull, and you're thinking, holy smokes, he brought a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot of below. Yeah,
for sure. But so that's good. It was necessary. It had to happen. Prices have increased. Cattle's a viable industry. I'm glad to see it.
Mm-hmm. Does it make the decision on retaining heifers harder or easier? Do you change the amount you hold back? Do you sell more? How do you tackle that question?
Oh, well, we kept quite a few replacement heifers this year. I think we based our decision on that we had the grass to feed them.
Yeah.
So that was big thing for us. It's We definitely could shift. On our farm, we can shift acres from grain to cattle and from cattle to grain. But we're seeding grass. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
We're seeding acres down to grass, so I guess it shows a preference for that side of the operation. But yeah, we can switch acres back too if we need to.
When you're putting down, putting land maybe back into grass, what kind of mix? How do you choose what species of grasses, legumes, etc. go down?
Yeah, sometimes it's just what I feel like that day. No, but we're typically brome alfalfa.
Okay. Yep.
That's we look at other things and then seem to go back to our standard practice. But this, and then it gets hay for a few years, and then it's pasture. And I guess that brome alfalfa mix works okay for that. The alfalfa disappears, kind of gets thinner after a few years, and that's more brome. It makes good pasture, so it works.
Do you ever do one of those like everything in the kitchen sink kind of mixes and see what happens?
Well, yeah, we have done that. Well, we've tried all kinds of things. You name it. I think we've tried to grow it, but this country. Brome works well. I know you go further east, and I think people tend to use more crested wheatgrass. But especially a year like this, when we're getting rain, yeah, the brome looks good. It's nice and tall, and you feel good walking through it.
These things matter, Yeah.
Yeah, these are the important things.
They are.
But
yeah. Well, and if you've got a mix that works, and as you said, hay it for a few years and then maybe pasture it for a few years, and as that species mix sort of shifts to more grass, that's nothing wrong with that, I don't think. Sounds like a pretty good idea.
Yeah, and we actually, we've gone back to growing some rye and grazing rye, so that's kind of like an annual crop, and that's been super for us. So there's something new. Sometimes we do things different, I don't even remember it, but yeah, the rye we've been doing rye the last 2 years, and it's worked well. So. And
is that spring, or is that like a fall rye you're putting in an early grazing?
Yeah, that's fall rye.
Okay.
And that's exactly it. It's early grazing. So we get the cows out there early. Saves us 3 weeks feed, which is always appreciated. And they're more than happy to get out onto something green in the middle of May. So it works well.
That is, I will say, for people who don't have livestock, early green that you can actually turn them out on saves a lot of headaches, because they're going to try. They're going to try and get out there anyway.
Yeah, happy cows. It's all about happy cows.
That's right. And now, when do you calve? Do you calve on in May, like on that rye, or when are you typically calving? I forget.
We calve. Yeah, no, we calve in April.
Okay.
And we will turn the pears out onto rye.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Actually, the rye gets so tall that if a cow were to calve out there, you wouldn't see it.
She could hide it quite well.
Yeah, she could hide it exactly.
Yeah. And they will.
So yeah, we turn the pears out there and calve the cows on the cows that are calving remain on a calving field where we're set up to handle them.
That's very important. They are sweet, but they are large. And so you better make sure you're ready to do what you need to do. Now, Rob, my question this week, what is your favorite free ag swag giveaway thing that you'll get at either a farm show or from a company? Are you a hat guy? Do you like T-shirts? Do you like something more fancy? What's your favorite giveaway?
Oh, we don't get as many hats as we used to get. It's harder to get a hat these days.
Yeah. Maybe I don't
spend enough money, but
that's how I feel.
I'd say hat or a little, what do they call them? Water bottle.
That's a good one.
They work good. Anything's appreciated.
Yep.
Free stuff is always good.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not free though, Rob, because I bought a tractor and I got a free hat. I don't think the hat was free. I'll be honest.
Something that you just reminded me. We bought a tractor and we didn't get a hat.
You should call and complain. Send them this interview and say
it never even occurred to me. Jeez,
I would complain. We actually got two. One for my daughter that was all pink. So I'm just saying.
You're a better negotiator than I am.
I must be. Next time you're going to buy a tractor, you call me first, and we'll get you squared away.
I'll check with you.
Okay, sounds good. All right, Rob, we'll leave it there. Thanks so much for joining me here on the Farmer Rapid Fire. I appreciate it.
Yep. Have a good day.
We are going to take a quick break here from the Farmer Rapid Fire, brought to you by Pioneer Seeds Canada, here on RealAg Radio, Rural Radio Channel 147, right after this.
Built on over 100 years of seed innovation and unwavering commitment to farmers, Pioneer 100 Series canola hybrids deliver a step change in yield performance and agronomic traits. This isn't just better canola, it's different canola. Pioneer 100 Series. Contact your local Pioneer sales representative or visit pioneer.com/100 series to learn more today.
How's your seed quality? What should you treat with? What about herbicide carryover and environmental concerns? Spring is here, and you've got a lot of things to think about in regards to your pulse crop. The Pulse School on Real Agriculture has information and advice for all these questions and more to help you navigate this season. Brought to you by BASF. Pulse School episodes are available at pulseschool.com, realagriculture.com, or as a podcast on your favorite streaming service. Download the latest episode today.
Welcome back to RealAg Radio here on Rural Radio, Channel 147, Sirius XM. I am your host for the day, Lyndsey Smith. It is, of course, the Farmer Rapid Fire, brought to you by Pioneer Seeds Canada. And joining me now is Derwyn Hammond. He's out of Manitoba. Derwyn, how are you?
I'm great. I'm glad to be here again. First time for this year on the show. So
yes, and it's always fun for me to be able to check back with my home province of Manitoba, see how the crops are looking. It hasn't been maybe the most perfect season where you are, but how do the crops look? What have farmers had to navigate in the last few weeks?
Well, I think variability would be a term that sums up what we've been seeing throughout. I cover western Manitoba, right up the west side of the province, western half, and lots of the rain that we have received. We had some wet weather middle of May, so that pushed seeding of some crops. Quite a bit of the canola went in the ground a little later this year, and so whether crops went in quickly before that rain, then we had some issues with some sporadic emergence from sloughing in those furrows and compaction and crusting from some heavy rains in some areas, and then some pretty ideal conditions in other areas where they didn't get quite so much. And then following the rain, a few growers got caught planting a little too shallow with lots of moisture, and then we had lots of 90 winds and, close to 30-degree temperatures for several days in a row that dried out that surface layer a little too quickly, so left some seeds stranded. So we've got lots of variability out in the field in different areas.
Now, of course, you cover an area where, lots of canola acres for sure, but we've got some corn, lots of cereals. There's a really good crop mix on what you're covering. Canola, though, is at this time of year such a showstopper with those beautiful yellow flowers. That variability, though, I'm going to think has translated to maybe some difficult fungicide decisions. How are farmers tackling that right now?
Well, certainly we've, I would say, since planting tended to be on the dry side, but again, the rain we've had, it's been the thunder shower variety, and that varies lots in relatively short distances. We go from, an inch of rain to next to nothing through the various systems that have moved through the area. Generally speaking, I would say we've got fields that are anywhere from coming out of flower to just coming into flowering. And we did have a bit of a system move through south of number 1 highway the last couple of days and gave us a bit of moisture to work with. So I guess one piece of advice as far as that fungicide timing. Some of our recent work we've been doing, trying to improve on modeling, when the best time is to apply that fungicide as we launched our new fungicide, the Viatude. We found that around that 50% bloom was maybe a little more reliable than in that 20 to 30 window. And I think it goes along with some trends we've been seeing, little lighter planting rates, trying to manage those costs. But I'm in a lot of fields now where, 5 or 6 plants per square foot's a lot more common than 10. And that means more branching and a longer flowering period. And so that later timing just seems to hit more of those flowers. So it takes about a week after you get that moisture established in the field to start producing the mushrooms that release the spores when it comes to sclerotinia, probably at least a week. And so if that's going to put you in that 40, 50% bloom stage window on some of your later fields, certainly something to consider in terms of protecting that crop if you've got a good stand established.
So that is really interesting in thinking about, is it too late? Potentially not then, right? If conditions are conducive, there's good yield potential there. And as you said, the work that your team has been doing shows that there's excellent ROI in that 50% bloom. So maybe if you're listening in Western Manitoba, maybe you still have to get out there and spray, which maybe you're ready to go to the lake. We'll see. That could be that could be next week's outing.
I'd say at least go take a look and do an evaluation and see what you think.
Thinking about, assessing how things are looking in the field, looking at maybe some new genetics as you go on field tours, looking at your own fields. How important is it to be taking note of some of the things that have been happening in the season, some of the conditions that certain fields are under, so that when you look at, the yield monitor and the final yield on that field, you've got some context of what happened there?
Yeah, I really like this time of year. It is a bit of a lull between you're kind of wrapping up the applications and starting to look towards the harvest season coming in August and September. But it is an opportunity to take note of things like maturity differences among the different hybrids. And this year in our area, I mentioned we've definitely got a dry bias. There's, I think the best areas I saw in the recent weather report from Manitoba Ag was 80% of normal rainfall, and then it goes down from there. So those timely rainfall events and how they coincide with critical periods for a particular hybrid can be really important. So we know corn, at that pollination timing and silking, it's a pretty critical time where we don't want drought stress. So understanding, which hybrids are at that critical stage, when you get moisture and when you don't, really helps put the final yield results in context and gives you a bit of a sense. That maturity, a later maturity, for instance, may be a benefit or maybe not, depending on how it lines up with some of that moisture that you received.
Mm-hmm. If only we could control it.
Yeah.
But we'll have to leave that for another time. All right, Derwyn, thank you so much for joining me here on the Farmer Rapid Fire, brought to you by Pioneer Seeds Canada. I really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot for having me.
And with that, we wrap up another edition of the Farmer Rapid Fire, of course, brought to you by Pioneer Seeds Canada. Huge shout out, of course, to each of the farmers who joined me today, to Billy, to Jim, to Rob, and to Mark. I really do appreciate it. It was a lot of fun to catch up. If you would like to be featured on the Farmer Rapid Fire, we are always looking for new voices, new parts of the country to check in with. Give us a call, 1-855-776-6147, or you can zip me an email, lsmith@realagriculture.com. You can always nominate your neighbor, and we'll check in with them and see if they're okay with that. I will be back tomorrow, of course, 4:30 Eastern, right here on Rural Radio, Channel 147. We'll have the issues panel and a special announcement happening tomorrow, so be sure to tune in. All right, cheers, everyone. Have a wonderful day.